There's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP morning show. Featured guests will come and they will blow your mind. The audience will do so in kind. A little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show with GMP. Hey, GuMPers.
Hola, bon dia, alegria. How are you, my friend? It's the Good Morning Portugal show, live stream and podcast, of course, from expatsportugal.com with me, Carl Munson. Now, how are you today? This is how I'm hoping we will roll. We never quite know, do we? Well, actually, just to clear something up, I said yesterday that Frank might be on with us this morning. Frank will be with us next Friday, the last Friday of the month, along with Mia Esmerish from the European Portuguese Academy. So Mia and Frank next Friday, the last Friday of the month, which leaves me in this situation this morning. I was thinking, so what do we do? What do we do this morning? It caught me by surprise. It's been a busy week. So I thought we'd just hang out this morning. Oh, I need to just make sure I've got that typo sorted out as well. Sorry, let me just deal with that. One of my parentheses has failed. There on my ticker tape that was going past. Anyway, so I thought we might just hang out this morning, and this is how I see it. It's been a busy week, of course, yeah, so much going on, so much material on the YouTube channel if you want to peruse that, not just the live shows but others as well, and the webinar last night, which was amazing with Luis Duarte. We saw him in the morning, and he was with us again, and he hadn't eaten all day. I was quite concerned about him by the end of it. He'd had a busy day, and there he was helping us in the evening as well. So I hope he managed to get himself. He was our sandwich. He was the 2 pieces of bread around my day for sure. And I hope he managed to get something to eat soon after the show. But he gave us some amazing insight and value yesterday evening. And lovely to hang out with Philomena last night from 9. I've got a few things to say from the conversation we had with Philomena on language and culture as well. In fact, I've got a few notes here about this morning, but this is how it's going to be. It's been a busy week, feverish really, with the hot weather and concerns about the wildfires. We'll check in on that. We'll see what's happening at ProSiv, maybe Fogos.pt, and we'll also take a look at the weather and hang out this morning. I was looking for the best possible phrase. Can't use smorgasbord, can we? Because that's Swedish. We can only use that when Wiley's with us. So I was thinking, what is Portuguese for pot-pourri? Pot-pourri you could use in France. I'm guessing that's a French phrase. And I came up with Pica. So very occasionally, when we've got a nice little clearing like this and a little moment to hang out together and have an easygoing feel-good Friday like today, I'm going to call it the Portuguese Pica, the bits and bobs, to see us into the weekend in a light-hearted way with a few laughs. I see T-Duck's been busy already this morning, and those are now getting immortalized. If you're thinking to yourself, oh, that was good, the deep thought of the day, or I really must find out what that Portuguese saying was, or that dad joke was a cracker, I want to try that in the back of the car. I want to try it on the people in the back of the car. If you go to goodmorningportugal.com at the end of the show, or actually give me an hour or two, and I'll put up all that material that you might want to refer to on goodmorningportugal.com as well. And yes, that should be copied and pasted over to the forum on expatsportugal.com as well. So show notes, the show blog, where you can see all those memes and jokes there. And that's what we're going to do this morning. We'll take it nice and slow with the dry jokes, if we've got some of those, because we were introduced to that yesterday, weren't we? The dry jokes by Luis. And Portuguese people have apparently dry joke competitions where I think the idea is that you say a really dry joke and you stare into the eyes of the recipient to see if they laugh or not. So this is a new thing that both T-Duck and I are going to take a look into, I believe. Portuguese dry jokes. What were they? Piadas secos, the dry jokes of Portugal. I've got them in notes here, roundabout, so we might have a look at roundabouts, because was that yesterday when that came up. What is it you call them in America? Rotaries. You've got rotaries there. That's not what Rotary clubs are about, though, is it? Is it a club to help you learn how to drive around a roundabout? That's something different. But roundabouts, and I found that in Portugal you can get. I can't say that phrase in Portugal without singing in Portugal. Fines between 60 and 300 for violating traffic laws on roundabouts. If it's not bad enough driving a stick shift for the first time in 30 years in a rental car that's cost you €500,000 to rent for 2 days, then there's a prospect of fines driving through a roundabout incorrectly. But anyway, don't worry too much about that. We're going to do our utmost best to help you navigate a roundabout. Circumnavigate would be the right phrase, would it not? Here in the country of the great Vasco da Gama. Don't worry too much about circumnavigating the planet. We've got enough on our hands just going around a roundabout here. Let's start with those baby steps of driving around a roundabout. So yes, what else have I got on my notes here? Oh, Ben Austin. You might remember Ben Austin we had him on the show doing a bit of mixology, mixing up a cocktail or two. It was Cocktail Corner, wasn't it? In the man cave with Garvo. Garvo filmed it. And Ben is 18 today. So isn't that great? Ben is 18. Happy birthday to you. Parabéns a você, Ben Austin, who is 18 today. And now you can actually try those cocktails. Do tell us, mate, what your first taste of alcohol is like, won't you? So a very happy birthday to Ben Austin over there, the son of Terence Austin, of course. My father-in-law, well, in-laws are over, and my father-in-law came into the office yesterday, and it makes it sound very formal, doesn't it? Into the room that I was working in on a computer, the office. And he said, "That's a lovely picture of a windmill." And I said, "Let me show you this video." This very talented man was painting this live on the show. So that was Terence Austin, father of Ben and uncle of Ben. Is not to be confused with the rice product, which isn't called that anymore, is it? I don't know. Anyway, not to be confused with that. Uncle of Ben Austin is Garvo, the great Garvo Austin, and so I'm sure they'll all have a fantastic day today. And Uncle Garvo will initiate Ben into the man cave. He's come of age, isn't he? 18 years of age. I don't know if he's been allowed in the man cave up until this point. Oh yes, he was for the filming, wasn't he, of Cocktail Corner? So very happy birthday to you, Ben. Have a great day. What a marvelous thing to be 18 and the whole world opening up in front of you. I don't know. It's interesting, isn't it? When I was 18, I think people were still given a plastic silver key symbolically to the world. I don't suppose any such thing exists, and maybe somebody could tell us here in Portugal what happens when you're 18. Are there any particular rites of passage? Is there an initiation where you're hung from your nipples as a young man in the forest for 3 days, deprived of water and food, as an initiation into the world of the modern men folk? I don't know. Dry joke staring contest. That sounds like fun, doesn't it? From Slug on a Rug. We will do that. No doubt. It won't really work here, will it? If I just stare at you, that'll be one really unnerving and unpopular live stream. A guy says a dry joke and just stares into the camera. I don't know. The internet is there to provide for all taste, is it not? Pick a pile. At this hour seems too early, Carl, but I expect anything from. You're right to do that. So Lion H, nice to see you here. How are you? Pick a power. Yeah, I've distracted myself 27 times since I've started talking this morning. Pick a power. Going back to that, and I will go back to my notes, which include nuns' breasts and monks' trunks, for want of a better phrase. So Lion H, it might be early for pick a power, but what about a nun's breast or a monk's trunk for you, which I believe are loosely speaking, and we are speaking loosely, aren't we, on such matters? Clearly, they are pastry items. Look it up. In fact, I would be grateful if anyone would look that up for me this morning, because I don't want to besmirch my own search history with that. So if anyone's got any interesting links to the nun's breast pastry, or there's also a pastry based on the monk's appendage as well, I believe, which I've just called loosely for now the monk's trunk. So I think this probably it translates better than that, possibly, or not, from the Portuguese. Oh yeah, so roundabouts, dad jokes, dry jokes, Portuguese sayings, nun's breasts, monk's trunks. Philomena, what Philomena said about what to do after you've said hello. I'm a little bit more confident now. After you get to the Portuguese panic bit, after you've rocked up at the market or a shop, and you said, hola bom dia, tudo bem contigo, muito bem, obrigado. And then there's that silence, isn't there? What do I say now? I think I've got something to fill that gap, folks. And who doesn't like to fill that gap first thing in the morning? And yes, birthday greetings to Ben Austin. And I'm sure whatever else you would like to come up with this morning, I will turn the Bluetooth on now and pair the phone to the mixing desk, such that if you want to call in on 00351, the country code, of course, for Portugal, and then 913-590-303. We are connected for that now. If you want to call in, please do so. Maybe give us a moment to just say hello to everybody. And as we get into the spirit of the easygoing hangout, Pica style, smorgasbord, pot-pourri of all the things we might have missed and all the things we've never dared talk about, possibly here on Feel Good Friday on the Good Morning Portugal. At which point, I'm just going to take a sip of coffee. Yum. Yes, leftovers. That's the thing, isn't it? I know that sometimes you have a bit of coffee, or I do have a bit of coffee left over in me plunge pot, and I reheat it. And I think for some coffee aficionados, Portuguese people would think that was disgusting, especially if you can go and just go out to a cafe and buy a coffee for 80 cents. Why would you do that? But I've got reheated milk and reheated coffee this morning. Hopefully, I'll make it through the show without a terrible case of food poisoning. Who's in this morning? Slug on a Rug was first in at 7:55 this morning with a bon dia GuMPers. Feliz sexta a todos. ¿Cómo están hoje? Very good. How are you today? Is Slug on a Rug. He's asking us. So why don't you respond in Portuguese this morning? Go on, give it a go. Don't keep putting it off. A bit like the physical fitness, isn't it? The God Squad tip of the day. I know we've got one of those as well. Don't put it off. Have a go. We're not going to. Well, we will laugh at you. Of course we will. But we won't. Not in a bad way. We'll laugh with you, not at you, when it comes to practicing the Portuguese. I think humour is a very important part of this. And thank goodness the Portuguese are so good-natured and have such a great sense of humour as well to tolerate all our efforts at Portuguese. Will Rogers' quote of the day from James Slug on a Rug. Do you know what? I'm going to undo a button. I'm feeling very laid back and easygoing this morning. The problem ain't what people know. It's what people know that ain't so. That's the problem, from Will Rogers. Yes, what's going to happen? Will Rogers presumably wrote that some time ago. And that problem that he speaks of there doesn't seem to have got any better. I was thinking about this whilst in contemplation this morning, in porcelain contemplation. I think you know what I mean by that. And it was a bit of a funny day yesterday on social media. Had a bit of a tear up on my, as happens sometimes on my Facebook timeline. Upset a few people, and I've felt upset by people. And the phrase "the culture wars" came up, and it's interesting, isn't it? This culture wars thing, but I think we're in a much more general culture war than we realise, and that everything that is being said possibly is being projected onto or co-opted into people's personal ideology. And hopefully that will become so intense that it will implode, and then we'll just be free again in the vacuum and peace of such an ideological nuclear implosion, that we'll be able to just speak freely and openly once more after that has taken place, whilst we're sweeping up the mess of that situation. But it's a curious time, isn't it? Where everything seemingly, well, is it just me? Is it just the sort of conversations I have and the social media interactions I have? Let's have a quick look at this, and let's stay light-hearted on this, please. I don't want to go down that same hole as we went down yesterday, or as I went down yesterday. But it's really just little figures and symbols on the screen, isn't it? And then it goes into your head when you look at it, and that what you decode is the information on the screen. And it could be happening here, couldn't it, with these little marks on the screen that you see in front of you? That's what's really going on, isn't it? You're a biological entity with these incredible senses through which you're perceiving information. And then that's when the interesting thing happens, isn't it? The information comes in to people, to their minds, and then something hits there, doesn't it? At which point the information is given meaning. And I put it to you that there's so much unresolved hurt, and people are so upset and kind of coiled springs when it comes to responding to that information, that then out comes all the stuff. And it was only ever information. You had a choice, didn't you, to just sort of eat it or throw it away, as the great Usher once said. or not. And it's the not that seems to be going on a lot at the moment. How dare you say that? And this is what I think about that, and all that sort of stuff. And I'm as guilty as the next person, human being, for doing that. But isn't it an interesting time? Have we always done that, or are we a particularly intense part of that mechanism that I've just articulated there? There's deep thought for the day. For you, a dad joke warning. Then should we get straight into them? We're going to have dry jokes, dad jokes here this morning. If somebody could find some, whilst you're looking for nuns' breasts and monks' trunks on the internet, maybe a Portuguese dry joke or two might be fantastic if you could find those. But yes, you've asked for it. James has the dad joke warning. So I think it's only right that we play this.
Warning. Warning.
Oh, yes. Dad joke warning. First of the morning, then, on this nice, easygoing pick-a-power morning where we're just tying a few threads together and hanging out, and maybe somebody will call in on 00351913590 And it was quick off the mark this morning. Was Slug on a Rug, beat T-Duck to it. Did you hear about the huge hole they found in the highway? The highway authorities are looking into it. Ew. Bon dia, Alegria. GuMPers. I think I could have stared you out, James, and not laughed at that one, but I see what you were getting at there. Thank you very much for getting us off the ground, only just with that one this morning. And bon dia, Alegria, GuMPers, from T-Duck as well. Don't let me put you off, James. Keep them coming. And a deep thought to start the day from this. Well, this, I guess, connects, doesn't it, to what I was saying about the culture wars, to the general ideological projection healing event that's going on that is exacerbated by social media. No one can make you feel inferior without your consent. Rosa Parks, of course. And now, can we substitute inferior for any other kind of adjective? No one can make you feel offended without your consent. Is that true? And that's not to say people need to go around being complete so-and-so's trying to offend you. There are two parts to the equation, aren't there? But is it true that no one can make you feel anything without your consent there, possibly? Thank you for that, T-Duck. And well, thank you, Rosa Parks, for obviously, and thank you, T-Duck, for sharing that with us. Let's get into the Portuguese sayings this morning then as well. And of course, these will be on the show blog, goodmorningportugal.com. Pior a emenda que o soneto. Worse the correction than the sonnet. Oh, what's this then? When you do something to correct a bad situation and make it worse. Yes. There's oil on troubled waters, perhaps, there, I think. Although, at such times, you might as well be hung for a sheep as a lamb sometimes. And also, I'm minded to say, seek forgiveness rather than, what is it? Seek. I forget what I was. I knew what I was trying to say, but I can't find the words for it. Seek forgiveness rather than permission, is it? I think that's all in the same ballpark here. So worse the correction than the sonnet. Sometimes it's better. In the situation I'm in now, it's better to stop digging, isn't it? So thank you for that one. Pior a emenda que o soneto. Worse the correction than the sonnet. And quem vai à guerra de eleva. Is this connected to culture wars? Who goes to war? Gives and takes, fights where both sides get hurt. Yeah, well, this is, I suppose, describing the folly of war, and it applies equally to the culture wars, doesn't it? Also to describe the consequences of bad situations. So yeah, in a war, it looks like everybody gets hurt. Yes, pujar abraça a sua sardinha, and we found out, didn't we, yesterday, that the folks of Setúbal are the Sardinhas. And this is a mention, possibly, not only, not exclusively for the people of Setúbal, but pulling the ember to your sardine, do something for your own gain. Okay, so this goes back to my sardine cooking schooling from Gilda, possibly. You want to be pulling the embers towards your sardine and do something for your own gain. These are excellent. Thank you very much. And we will return to your dad jokes, T-Duck, after we said hello to a few folks. Looks like we've got Tony Baldylocks in, and Nuno Mendes is here as well, so, who sent me in another interesting article, which I will go through with you as well as part of what we're doing today on this Portuguese Pica-Power Day. This is an update on the 112 number that I'm looking at it on a web page, and a pop-up has come in. Stop it! What is this? Dear internet user, do you want to do a survey? No, I don't. I'm trying. Okay. In 2023, 112 will detect the exact place of origin of calls. Isn't that good? A new system, and that's coming in 2023 next year, and will cost 11.5 million euros. And it's a better way of locating those in need and possible danger there. Thank you for Nuno for that. We will return to that. Tutto ottimo. That's a nice thing. Write that down, everybody. That's a good response, isn't it? To give tutto ottimo there from Nuno. Thank you very much for that. And I see coming up in the chat, and I need to have a cough and finish off my coffee. Cough and coffee. Let's press this and come right back at you with a little bit of gentle fitness for bon viveurs, growing old disgracefully with Coach Turner after this. Oh, I haven't finished yet. Anyway, I've still got a little bit more to drink there. Very nice with honey in too. Okay, God Squad tip of the day. Then I was reminded a couple of days ago that if you've not trained for 3 to 4 weeks, you won't be able to do what you did before, which is a little bit like that. It's not really a joke, is it? But the little boys crying on the sidewalk, because you Americans might say, and I'm really into the habit now of saying Porto sidewalk whenever I say rotary, anything American. Anyway. I'm still aching, so he got back into it, and the little anecdotal jokey thing that I was trying to reach for there is and maybe this pertains to growing old disgracefully. But little boy sat on the sidewalk crying. Old man comes up to him. What's the matter, little boy? Why are you crying? Because I can't do what the big boys can do. And the old man sits down and starts crying as well. Is that what you're talking about here, Ian Turner? He's still aching. Go gently, folks, and you'll soon get back. So yes, your problems with elasticity or muscle memory or something like that, go easy. If you haven't trained for a little while, if you've been gallivanting around Europe, for example, no names, no pack drill. Did you have an old relative who used to say that? I did. Then if you've been gallivanting and not training, you just have to go easy on yourself and get back into it steadily. Thank you for that this morning, Coach Turner. And thank you yesterday, Andy, for that lovely picture of you and your training comrades. Did you see this yesterday? You'll be proud of Andy in the Barada, Coach Turner. This came in from Andrew, the Porky Feet, and this is the squad he trains with. Actually, I don't have it anymore. But he was he very wisely. No, that's gone. The best I can give you is one of these. From Philomena. We'll come back to Philomena in just a little while. No, he's got himself in a fitness class with a load of ladies. Has an excellent incentive to turn up every week. No fellas there, just him and a load of ladies having a fine time. Well done, Andy, and I'm sure Coach Turner will approve of that strategy there. Stephen Wells, then bon dia to you, my friend, and bon dia alegria from Baddy too. How you doing, Baddy? And Cindy B, bon dia alegria from a rather overcast Nadadura. And we're quite pleased for that to be the case, aren't we, Cindy B, in these hot times? Although I have to say, I was trying to show off the bay to my in-laws. Welcome, Alan and Dee, to Portugal. The second time they visited us for an extended stay. I think they really like San Martino de Porto. But the weather could be a little bit better. And Cindy, we might be on the same page here. Overcast in the morning, hoping for a nice, bright, sunny day in the afternoon. Didn't quite make it yesterday with any bright sun. It remained overcast. People were on the beach there and in the sea. It was fantastic to see them all there enjoying themselves. But hopefully, I want to take the old folks into the old town. Where they'll be at home. The cobbled streets will remind them of their childhoods, sparking clogs. I don't think they did that in Kent back in the day. But yeah, hoping there's going to be a nice sunny day. So let's have a look at the weather now, shall we, and see if that's going to be the case. But good morning to you, Cindy B, with the bon dia alegria from a rather overcast Nadaduro this morning. Okay, expatsportugal.com weather for you. Let me bring it onto the screen so we can have a look, see what's happening. Let's have a look at the weekend weather, shall we, while we have a moment. And open up the right Chrome tab for this. Okay, weather in Portugal then. Actually, we could even go over for some specialist deep dive weather from the Obidos weather station, courtesy of Phil Ruff. But anyway, let's start with the general weather picture and how things are going to look for the weekend. Come on, computer. Let's do this. Although it's downloading a hell of a lot of data from wherever this weather comes from. Which I think is a little bit more sophisticated than an old lady with a piece of seaweed in Lisbon. Not much more sophisticated, I sometimes think, when I look at the predictions and then the reality. But anyway, Saturday and Sunday, 30 degrees in the capital then of the centigrade. That's 86 for tomorrow and Sunday. Currently 19 or 66, rising to 29 and 84 respectively in the capital today. How about that? So a nice warm weekend in the capital. In Porto, 24 degrees centigrade is going to be the high today and remain similar over the weekend there, as you can see. A nice sunny weekend in Porto. Coimbra, hot tomorrow, 36. The high in Coimbra tomorrow. Go steady, be careful. It's going to be hot in central Portugal tomorrow, as I think we'll find out as we scroll down further. But 34 today with overcast clouds currently and 21 degrees centigrade. In the south, 27 degrees and a clear sky, and rising another degree to 28. And I think we have actually got a weather report from Faro this morning or yesterday. Lord Gilchrist, as you may well know, he of the Man Cave is properly in. No more of this countdown stuff that we've been doing for the last 2 months. He's here. He's living here now, and we have a weather report from him that I'm just going to load up for you now. Let's have a look at what Lord Gilchrist weather report from the Algarve yesterday. Come on, Andy. Bit sluggish, so hot down there. Here we go. Here's Andy.
It's exhausting being here. So tiring.
He's moaning already. That is so British.
It's exhausting being here. So tiring.
You can take a Brit out of Britain, but you can't take Britishness out of the Brits. No sooner looking forward to being in Portugal, no sooner here complaining about the weather and how tiring it is on a hot sunny beach there. Okay, back to the weather then. Aveiro today. 19 at the moment with overcast clouds, not unlike your Nadaduru there, Cindy B, rising to 24. And the weekend's looking like 24 on Sunday, 25 on Saturday. And actually a nice extended, as we look through the weather pattern here of the country, I think we're going to get a nice Monday as well, sunny Monday in many places. Beja rising to 38 today. Beja, 38 degrees today. 40 tomorrow is predicted in Beja. Okay, 40 degrees tomorrow and on Sunday, but a little bit of cloud, which might help on Sunday by the time people are truly dehydrated and flagging a little bit, and 38 on Mondays. 21 at the moment with a clear sky in Beja. Braga, how is it looking in Braga? I think that's where you are, isn't it? It's the Lion H. 33 degrees, the high today, currently 17. 34 and 30 respectively Saturday and Sunday for the weekend. And Castelo Branco, 37 today. 23 degrees currently with overcast clouds, 38 and 37 for Saturday and Sunday. Bit of cloud on Sunday, which may be very welcome by that time. Similarly in Évora, a cloudy day today later. Clear at the moment, though, at 22, rising to 38 and 39 and 39. Don't forget, if you want Fahrenheit, double it and add 30. But hot, let's say. Let's just go with hot as the shorthand for Évora. For this coming weekend. Leiria, mild. This is where we are on the Silver Coast, Leiria district. 20 degrees at the moment, rising to 27 and cloudy today, but a nice sunny day tomorrow at 29. That's going to be nice for the rallies. Santarém, 34, moving towards central Portugal then. Tomorrow is in Santarém, 34 degrees today, the high at 19 at the moment with broken clouds. And a 36-degree day tomorrow, Jerry. You're going to be using that swim-up pool idea that we shared with you yesterday. Look, here's Jerry's swim-up pool innovation, in case you didn't see it yesterday. Get those ready. Get more beers in the freezer, and don't forget to take the bottle opener out with you to when you stock your swim-up bar in the pool there, Jerry. Excellent stuff. But yeah, because in Santarém, 36 tomorrow and 35 on Sunday. And actually, a nice sunny week next week, 33 on Monday, but cooler towards the middle of next week. Viseur this morning, 18 degrees centigrade, overcast with clouds, rising to 35 today in Viseur, 36 and 32 Saturday and Sunday, sunny. Week ahead, actually, by the look of it, with 30-plus temperatures in for next week, forecast for next week. Bragança then, 20 at the moment, rising to 34, a 35-degree centigrade weekend. Guarda, 33 the high today, 17 currently, rising to 34 and 32 Saturday and Sunday. Porto Alegre, as you might imagine, also very warm, 23 degrees, a few clouds at the moment, rising to 36 and a 38 and 37 degrees centigrade weekend. Setúbal, 19 at the moment, 32 to come today, and 32 and 34 for the weekend. Nice sunny Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Viana do Castelo, 21 at the moment, rising to 26, and 26 and 23 for Saturday and Sunday. So cooler in the north. Villarreal, 34 the high today, 16 at the moment, and cloudy with a 36 and 32 Saturday and Sunday. And then just finally the autonomous regions. Azores, 24 the high today, cloudy weekend and cloudy week to come with some rain at the back end of next week. 18 at the moment. Madeira, 10 degrees, the coolest part of Portugal right now, with 17 degrees to come, and a very comfortable 21 and 24 over the weekend, and a nice sunny week if you're heading off to Madeira for your holidays to paradise there. Let's have a quick look at this weather station then in Óbidos. How's it looking in Óbidos? This very graciously provided by Phil Ruff and the Óbidos Geiras weather station here. We are being redirected live as we speak. 65, he's doing it in the Fahrenheit as an American there. This is a sort of level of meteorology that you can achieve in your own garden. This is what Phil's doing here. 18.8. Oh, that's converted for me. It was in Fahrenheit when we first arrived. Now it's 18. That's some clever stuff. And it drills down to pressure at 1011.51 HPAs. Wind from the north gusting at 9.3. Isn't that amazing? 84% humidity, just dropped a percent with a dew point of 16 degrees. You too can have this sort of technology in your garden, and then you could connect it to us, connect it to the internet, and then we can look at it. Anyone else fancy a piece of that? And that is Wunderground, I think, isn't it? The people behind that. If you want to get one of those, I think, yeah, Weather Underground, Wunderground. I think they shorten that to there. Connecting up weather stations all over the world. There you go. There's the weather for you for today and this weekend. Let's go see what you're saying in the comments. And I'm going to have, let me just play a random video so that I can have another cough and finish what should we do? I want to play you this to put a little bit of a smile on your face and some, I don't know, some light and heat in your heart here. Well, hasn't she done an amazing job? And I have to say, it's changed beyond all recognition. We've got quail's eggs to add to that now. And that duck, that we adopted as well. Oh my goodness. And the produce is amazing. Last night we had kale chips made from the garden. And I'm looking, I've got my mother-in-law here. And you know, some of those kale plants look like mother-in-law's tongue plants, don't they? So it was quite interesting. I was, eating those at the table with a slight smirk on my face with the mother-in-law over. But kale chips from the garden, quail's eggs. I mean, Mrs. M's done an amazing job, and I got to make another video. That was, I think, probably made a couple of months ago, and it has changed incredibly. We were eating peppers from the garden as well. So more another video like that to come. I think it's absolutely beautiful what she's done in the garden there. Fantastic stuff. And I see so many comments. I've drunk my coffee, and the frog in my throat is now wandering around the room, no longer trapped in my esophagus or whatever was going on a little bit earlier on. Let's come back to your lovely comments. Thank you for being here this morning as we're hanging out and having a bit of a Portuguese pica-pau, which incidentally, I think it is the best kind of pot-pourri metaphor I can find from Portuguese culture. The pica-pau is a dish of meat and pickles, and sometimes a beer sauce in there, a little bit like you might get with the francesinha. And of course, it varies, and people will say, "No, Carl, that's not a pica-pau." But the gist of it is that it's a mixed blessing in a culinary sense. Something you might pick at while you're having a beer, not unlike this show this morning. Okay, so we're off the mark with the dad jokes. First dad jokes have been shared, and I can see there are more to come. We've looked at a few Portuguese sayings. We've got more dad jokes to come from T-Duck, and others are throwing their dad joke hats into the ring as well this morning. Counting down continues with Tony Baldilocks coming to Portugal. We've said hello to Nuno. And muito bem, says James. Estou feliz em ouvir. Now, what does that mean? I think we might have to decode that. And where did we get to? We got a hello from Solian H. Oh, Anna, how are you, Anna? You're in Sweden. I was just about to ask you where you are in the world. Bon fin semana from Stockholm. 36 degrees here yesterday. Wow. That's quite amazing, isn't it? And thank you for joining us. And I said on my own Facebook timeline this morning, the Good Morning Portugal show isn't just for people interested in Portugal, especially on a morning like this where we're sharing dad jokes and having a bit of fun and hanging out after a busy week and quite an intense time. Let's face it. Let's breathe out, take a breath, not at the same time, and just take it easy this morning. If you want to call in, do so on 00351 913 590. Adriel Pinto. Hola, bon dia, alegria. Hello to you, Adriel. Great to have you back. And Francis is in as well. Good to see so much of you this week. Look, 3 times this week. Small wins. Bon fin semana. Happy to be here. Bon dia, alegria. Todos from Francis. Nice one. Bon dia. Oh my. I haven't heard the word pica-pau in about 4 decades. And I'm thinking I've spelt it wrong, haven't I? I've done pick-a-pau rather than pica-pau. So forgive me. Mistakes will be made. I'm sure if you look on the screen now, you'll see it spelt 2 different ways. But I think you get the gist of what we're getting at there. Deagle, here's another win. And I'm not going to say a small win. This is a big win for the domesticated alpha male. I changed a light bulb yesterday, but it was in my oven. Now that's another level of complexity and danger. In my 53 years on the planet Earth, it was my first time changing an oven light bulb. So I showed my son, yes, handing down the carefully crafted and developed skills there, domesticated alpha male. I showed son Bart in case he needs to do this once in his lifetime as well. The once in a lifetime event that is changing the oven light bulb. And it makes a difference, doesn't it? When you look in there and whatever you're cooking or baking is smoking away. It's nice to have a light bulb just to see what's going on in there. Rotary is a regional thing. Roundabout is more common. Okay, thank you for that, James. A roundabout is a traffic circle in the US, and we will talk about the correct way to drive around a roundabout. You wouldn't think it would be so complicated, would you? And yes, I always mention when we're talking about roundabouts, people parking on them. It was taken to a new level yesterday in San Martino de Porto. I saw a coach parked on a roundabout. Surely they qualify for one of those 60 to 300 euro fines. A massive great coach parked on a roundabout here. Circle thingy, that'll do, won't it? And Sarah's in from the aforementioned Setúbal, you Sardinia, you. Are there countries without roundabouts? Wondering for a friend, the sort of thing that keeps Francis awake at night, or his friend. Much of the US is absent roundabouts, but they are catching up, I think. Yes, come on, catch up, Americans. I turned 18 the first year it became the age of majority Didn't really feel any different than the day before. Yes, it's a funny thing, isn't it? Very arbitrary. And good morning, Gumpers. To me, message to me specifically, email for you. Mr. and Mrs. Adventure are interested. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. It's all in an email as a CC to you. That's fantastic. Thank you, Darren, for doing that. And good morning to you and Tech Cowgirl. I'm not going to do this, Sir Lion H. I'm going to let others do that, and they probably already have. I think Dorsish Falikosh just about sums it up. And I think we have, I've tried to, how do I put this? I've tried to glaze the cherry, although that doesn't make it sound any better. Gosh, euphemisms abound this morning, possibly. But yes, I've tried to cast and reframe these as cherries. When I've seen them around the place. Daddy, what's that cake? Oh, it's just some cherries. It's a tribute to the cherries of Fundao there, with the stalk and the two big cherries there. But yes, if you want to do that, but remember, anything you search like this on your search engine will come back to haunt you, or so anyone else who uses your computer. This seems to be a big fan of the Dorsish Falikosh here. Pam's in with Boa. Sexta-feira, Torush. There's a good way of, there's another little cultural insight for you. You can write the day of the week like that. Sexta, the only day with sex in it. Sexta, sexta-feira. Torush, thank you, Pam. Bon fin de semana to you. And morning to Will. Hello, Will. How are you? Yay, another day. We are still alive. Isn't that great? So cheerful, Will. It's true, though, isn't it? Yes, counting our blessings, giving gratitude, maybe sitting there looking at the Portuguese landscape, coffee or tea in hand, some of you having a smoke and just enjoying the fact that here we are, witnessing and being a miracle in this great universe of ours. That's the way we roll, isn't it? Well, Francis, Canada used to be, but not for the last 2 decades. What's that? What's he been saying then? Is that about roundabouts, I wonder, or something more political than that? Just when I thought I had all the checkout instructions or interactions and cashier questions sorted at the grocery, boa tarde, do you need a bag? Yes, preciso saco. Isto é meu NIF or contribuinte on the Intermarché card, money, exchange, etc. We've got more for you, James. Don't worry. What happened? It sounds like there's more to come on that. A new thing happens. Something about 1 and 5. What do you mean? Something about 1 and 5? Okay, Pam, can you help with that? Pam, lots of questions for you this morning. Your sunflower. I've one growing over 6 foot, approximately 15 out the back. Wow, it's 15 sunflowers. Let's have a picture, please, Deagle. I'm growing some red ones, red sunflowers. Hopefully the red heads, green stems, leaves will look like a Portuguese flag. Yes, of course. Nice one, Deagle. Photos, please. Hoje vamos falar sobre matemática no chat club. So you can be seduced into thinking that no means no. No means no. No, and no, of course, does mean no, but not in this context. No means in. Or at, really, I suppose, in this context here, isn't it? So today we're going to be talking about maths on the chat club. Pam, don't be shy. If other people are welcome to join you, do please put the link to the chat club in there. I think we need all the help we can get when it comes to learning Portuguese. So do bung the link in there to that activity. That was a true dad joke. Blank stare, slap on the forehead. Ew, yes, indeed. I don't know which one you're referring to. Could be to any. Here's another one. Why do elevator lift jokes so good? Why are elevator? Thank you for the translation there. Elevator. Why are elevator lift jokes so good? Because they work on many levels. Where is it? No, actually, that's not the one. That's the one we need, isn't it? That doesn't deserve a round of applause, but I think a nice rim shot for you there. Let's go back to T-Duck's dad jokes before we forget those. Okay, dad jokes. I'm going to have a lot of work getting all of these into the show notes blog this evening or this afternoon or this morning even. I need to get the blog done and take the rallies to the market this morning. 2 fish are in a tank. One says to the other, do you know how to drive this thing? Yes! And I gave my friend an elephant to put in his room. He said, thanks. I said, don't mention it. Yes. Well, don't you wish, you know what? I was just thinking to myself there. Don't you wish you had that sound effect in your car? If you drive a Tesla, I'm sure you can have that sound effect. People always tell me I'm condescending, says T-Duck. That means talking down to people. Okay, thank you very much. There's more to come if you can take it. This morning, more dad jokes, more lightheartedness. Maybe a longer joke or two if you want to stick those in the chat. Keep them clean or relatively clean, if you will, this morning. Red sunflowers, yellow sunflowers, talking about maths in the chat club. Por qué o vírus da gripe não tem amigos? Por quê ela é uma má influenza? What is Sir Lion H saying? Well, how's it going with the flu? Possibly. I wonder. And Jess, don't worry, I got you there. We sorted that out. And Will Thompson, what if it was just a punctuation page change? Sorry, we are still alive. Could be an immersive past life review. Oh, I see. Very good. I see what you did there. Ask forgiveness rather than permission. Thank you so much. Thank God you're here, Francis, this morning. I'm needing a bit of help this morning. Maybe I've got too relaxed. Bom dia, Carl, e todos. Sandra Marks Webster, where have you been? Has anyone visited Quinta dos Azulejos in Lisboa? That's exactly the sort of comment we want this morning. Random things that have occurred to you to ask us here like that. Has anyone visited Quinta dos Azulejos in Lisboa recently or ever? Do let us know. And what makes you ask that, Sandra? Have you had a nice visit there recently? I just say that because no nuclear war and no mass of demons from a parallel universe came out of the CERN generator yet, always looking on the bright side and taking care of such things for us. Thank you, Will. Por que há tantas pessoas feias no litoral? Pois a beleza está no interior. What's that then? So talking about the coast, and it is more beautiful than the interior, possibly there. Thank you, Sir Lion H. Appreciate it. Sorry, not parallel universe. That's not science. I meant the 11th dimension. I'd like to see the research, please, for that. Fact check. Como se chama elevador no Japão? Da mesma forma que em Portugal. Carrega no botão ela vem. So I think we need some translations, if you don't mind, Celine H. I would love you talking the Portuguese here, but it might help us a little bit to have some of the translations as well. And bon dia. That's nice putting it that way, isn't it? Bon dia. Hope you are fine and well and safe. Maureen, we're great here. Thank you this morning. Hope you are too. And doesn't mean they're not there, just an excuse to explore. And this is only to be expected this morning. Guess what that's the answer. Guess what the question was. That music is a rip-off of the please, Will, don't say that. Simon's in as well. Hola, bon dia, todos. From Simon, how are you? We haven't spoken about biogas digesters, Simon. You saw the video, if you were here a little while ago, you saw the video of the garden. I do want to build a biogas digester. Me and Mrs. M are going to get back into making videos together, and it's going to be a lot about the homestead living, the happy homestead, an extension of some of the beautiful images and the beautiful produce that Mrs. M's growing there. Biogas digester, Simon, we need to talk. Carl, I could do a quick StreamYard positive news roundup of thing if you like, some juicy stuff. Do we want Will to do that? Is he being ironic, paradoxical, the juicy stuff? Positive. Are you using that word very loosely, Will? You're very welcome to pop on a little bit later on. Yes, by all means. Let me actually, while I'm here and talking about such things, I'm going to put if you want to be very daring this morning and join me on the screen, the link to do so is there, but not until we've read a few more dad jokes here. But I was relatively sure that it was. Oh, I see. They've gone into deeper levels of dad jokery there. I'm finding that no training gap gets smaller the older I get. My 2.5 week break for vacation made it a tough ask this week, but getting there. Yes, indeed. But keep on keeping on, Francis. You got to get that balance right, haven't you? Don't be too hard on yourself, but push yourself just enough. That fine sweet spot. That's true in all things, really, isn't it? Dad joke. I have a joke about chemistry. But I don't think I'll get a reaction. Hey! And here's another one. Yes, I had not swam in 3 weeks. No, that's not a dad joke, is it? This is a statement. Yes, I had not swum in 3 weeks. On Tuesday, I did 120 lengths in an hour. 128 lengths is 2 miles. Swim booked for 10 a.m. this morning. Oh, you make the rest of us look so bad, Deagle. Hola, bon dia, kids from sunny Portimao. How's everyone doing this morning? Victoria, we're doing pretty well here. And she's saying to Deagle there, swimming is awesome, but wipes me out. about 2 weeks till I get acclimated to it. And do you find yourself ravenously hungry? I do. Whenever I go swimming, I feel that's why they have those vending machines at swimming pools, isn't it? Because you just got to eat 5 bags of crisps afterwards when you've got out of the pool. Lots of fluids, a soda and 5, and undoing the good work you might have done. Does anyone else have that? Laura P. Hola, amigos, from Laura P. How are you doing this morning? And look at this. Sarah says to you, Victoria, we're all better since you arrived. Yes. It's a proper dad joke when the kid's grown. Yes, true. And then complain, yes, Dad, that's almost as funny as the last time you told us. when it was not at all. Sheesh. Yes, I think I've had that reaction. Yes, some appreciation for your joke. And another one from Owen here. When two vegans get in an argument, is it still called beef? I wonder. Yes, on a roll here, a vegan sausage roll. Victoria, I swim 5 mornings a week, 100 to 200 lengths. That's a lot of lengths. 200 lengths is 5 kilometers. That takes approximately 2 hours. And it's hard the next day on my... Well, of course it is, Deagle. Something to do with the swim, all that swimming. What stroke do you do when you're thrashing up and down 200 lengths? Unbelievable. Mate, calm down. And I hope you've organised the similar arrangement to this. That's quite a good incentive, isn't it? I'm going to get the beer this time. No, I'm going to do another length. I'm going to get the beer next time. No, I'm going to do another length. 197, 198, 199. My goodness. I cannot even contemplate that. I don't know how you deal with the boredom of it, Deagle. Is it meditative for you? Do you switch off or do you think? What's going on in your head over those 200 lengths? That's an extraordinary. The more I think about it, the more extraordinary that is. I ordered chicken... Well, we've heard this before, but it's so good. We'll say it again. I ordered a chicken and an egg from Amazon. I'll let you know. I'm so happy to be on the Silver Coast where the temperature is generally under 30 degrees. Yeah, this is the first summer. Although we've spent quite a lot of time on the Silver Coast, this is the first summer in San Martino for us. And it is remarkable, isn't it, Pam? I think we are quite fortunate to have that sea fog and the reason why it's called the Silver Coast every morning. It's a good little life hack there and something we would recommend to other people who don't want too much intense sun, like being by the sea, but also to avoid disappointment. If you're thinking on the Silver Coast, you're going to be walking down to the beach every day with a clear sky. Think again, folks. That's not going to be happening here. That's probably more of an Algarvian thing, although I'm sure Victoria will tell us. Is it clearer down there? Silver Coast, foggy, Algarve down that way, Portimao, those beach fronts, Victoria. Don't I'm sure you have sea mist, but probably not quite as much as the Silver Coast. That's useful information for those choosing where to live in Portugal. Please let us know. Cape Town, partly cloudy, 3 panels of gas heater on. Wow, cold there. 3 panels of gas heater. Reminds me of my childhood. Have you got a special coat hanger arrangement that you've put on the front of it to do your toast on? And so you get that toast tasting and smelling slightly of carbon monoxide. Don't try that at home. When the children or others respond to what you think is a dad joke with confusion and blank stares, it's too sophisticated or obtuse or complex or incomprehensible. Who knew there would be this level of analysis when it comes to dad jokes? To be a proper dad joke, in my humble opinion. Okay. I've had short sandals on all week in Belfast from 25 degrees to 16 degrees this week. Dry, so little clothes on, just a little loincloth. Or maybe his budgie smugglers. He's in the pool with them on, comes out, just walks home in his budgie smugglers and then wanders about the garden tending to his sunflowers there. Ooh, that's a big one, says the neighbor, looking at Deagle's sunflower. Bon dia, Portugal. Here's one for you, Carl. People who use selfie sticks should have a long, hard look at themselves. Oh, yes. Yes. I thought that was going to be a genuine beef about people and selfie sticks, but that you turn that into a put down of selfie stick users and made it into a dad joke. Good work, William. Another one of these for you. Okay, and a wow there. I think that maybe for the joke or the garden, I don't know. Maybe both apply. Ottimo final de semana a todos. Thank you, Owen, sharing dad jokes and Portuguese this morning. Superb. Thank you, Diego. And it was all in the yard, you know. There was no soil when we moved in. We've made raised beds, and everything that you saw growing there has been grown in soil and compost in raised beds that have been put in the last year here. Digo, I swim 30 to 60 minutes in the ocean, depending on how calm it is, 3 times a week. That's lovely. I must get in the sea again soon. Love the garden, Carl. Greetings from Washington, D.C., where it's 25 degrees at 4 in the morning. Suzanne, what are you doing up at 4 in the morning? And sorry for shouting. Once tried swimming near Belfast in the sea, was Baltic and did not enjoy the choppy sea. No, I can understand that. And then you get but a great big liner comes along. Stay in the pool, I think, around your way, Deagle, and then come and enjoy some swimming over here in the Algarve soon, won't you, mate? Looking forward to meeting you one of these days. I was attempting to say I'm happy to hear it. Again, I'm not. Oh, I see you in the Portuguese there. Not sure I got it right. Gary's here. We've please. We said happy birthday to Ben earlier on. No harm in saying it again. Happy birthday, Ben Austin, nephew of Gary of Garvo, of course, son of Terence and Ginny. I'm sure you would all like to join me in wishing Ben Austin. We're ahead of you, Garvo, and we'll do it again, of course. Happy birthday, Ben, and do let us know what alcohol tastes like when you try it for the first time today. We will be in San Martino de Porto today to help celebrate. Maybe see you later down at the beach. Fantastic. It's a party. So, yeah, I would be delighted to buy him a Sagres Mini, so he just nice and easy into it with the start of his drinking career. Hola from Mrs. M. I hope you saw the video of your beautiful garden there. And boa sexta feira para todos from Antonio F. Be with you in just a moment. Will is joining us from the wilds. Will the Wild Man joining us from the wilds of central Portugal. And hola, meus amigos y gente boa as well. Gavo, Antonio F, very happy to see you. Happy birthday, Ben. Then from Antonio F and from all of us this morning. Carl, from now on, I shall call you Carlinhos. I got out of bed to say that, going back to bed now. Okay, well, thank you. We appreciate the effort. Where are you, nom de plume, by the way? And sorry, I didn't mean to say that in such a sort of interrogating way, but yeah, out of interest, where are you? Hola, bon dia from the Porky Feet. Andy, only just woke up, a consequence of living in the party capital. Yeah, only another 2 more months of partying, and then you'll be able to have a nice rest and hibernate for the rest of the winter. We know that's what Portuguese people do now. Bon dia, Victoria Benson. I do a similar thing. I swim 30 to 60 seconds every time I go to the beach. Yes, no, that's growing old disgracefully. Gentle fitness for the bon viveur right there. Okay, let's go to Central Portugal. He's promised us a positive news update. Let's see if he lives up to that, or is he going to frighten us with a load of scary stuff? Will T, good morning to you, wild man of the woods. How are you?
Good morning. I'm in my hammock at the moment.
Okay, very nice.
Working on off-grid farms, setting up solar systems and free water pumps and stuff, renewable energy. Excellent. And that was going to be my suggestion, was I'll go over some positive energy and environmental engineering news.
It's all yours. Go ahead. I would love to hear
part.
That. Yes.
Okay. I thought if I had a microphone, I could do like in the news today sort of thing. But
can't you get a Flintstones microphone? Just pick up a rock or an old twig or something and talk into it.
In my pen? Does that work?
Yeah,
no, it's not really.
Something a bit beefier than that. And then maybe stick a bit of fern on the top. There you go. There's Will. Will, we go live now to Will with his off-grid microphone.
Okay, welcome to Renewable Energy News. Yeah, okay, so some little things to help people for thinking about all this stuff. A lot of people have opinions online and so on. But okay, so number one is they've just completed a massive dam in Switzerland that's going to essentially be a massive battery for the whole of Europe to help compensate the grid. So if there's a shortage in energy in one place, then they can switch on the hydro dam there. But it's taken them 16 years to make it. But it's positive news when everyone's complaining about how renewable energy is intermittent. These sort of solutions will help to compensate for that.
Okay.
Something else. The sales of electric bikes are booming. I've always extolled the virtues of electric bikes, but people are starting to figure out how fantastic it is to get one and cycle around on that for health and for avoiding car use. People finding they're saving a fortune on gas and so on. So it's a recommendation for everyone. If you can afford to and you're interested, go get one while you can, because it could be a case of sales of those could be so intensive that it'll be really hard to find one in a few months.
But also that'll bring the prices down, won't it? Now that production is up. I mean, when we looked at electric bikes maybe 2 or 3 years ago, a lot of them were in development and they were crowdfunders, weren't they? And you could buy one that hadn't been made yet. And I think this will all help. The global interest in electric bikes, it should bring production costs down. Mass production. One of the benefits of mass production, I guess, there, and make them more affordable for people.
Absolutely. And there is an invention called the switch, which means you send them the specs of your bike, and they just send you the motor and a wheel, and that means you can keep your old bike and just upgrade it. And it's only about $300 or $400, something like that. So it's a good economic alternative.
Yes, very good.
All right, compressed storage. When people are worried and talking about how we don't have enough lithium and how to compensate the grid for storage, you know, if there's not enough, say for like there's solar in the day, but you need energy at night, they've figured out that compressed storage, by compressing air in tanks underground, is about twice as good, cheap, fast, and efficient as using batteries. So we can expect to see that in the future. Yeah, just bury a tank underground, and the air gets compressed when you've got energy. And when there's no solar energy or wind energy, you just release that onto a turbine. So that could be something to see in the future.
Yeah.
What else? Oh, Russia. Okay, so into farming and Russia, and possible food shortages.
Yeah.
Ukraine and Russia are now trying to get to an agreement where they originally what happened was Ukraine blocked their own ports with mines because they were worried about being attacked, but now they're coming to an agreement whereby Russia will agree not to attack grain ships coming out of Ukraine. So soon it looks like they might be able to get all the grain out from Ukraine that's sitting in ports and get it to the countries that need it. They just have to sign a piece of paper and say, I promise I won't blow up the food ships. I don't know why it's taking so long, but that's all it really takes, a bit of cooperation and agreement.
Do you know that sentence that sums up the world right now, doesn't it? Or of the last few decades, maybe even centuries. I don't know why it's taken so long, but we just need to cooperate. You hit the nail on the head right there, I think.
Yeah.
A little bit of cooperation, yes.
Okay, if anyone's interested in the Dutch farming protests and the concerns going on there, essentially the government are saying because of environmental rules and destructive chemical nitrogen fertilizer issues in Holland, which is a major issue, they're suddenly forcing the farmers to say, get rid of most of your animals and stop using chemical fertilizer, or we're going to have to seize your land. And there's a huge protest about that.
Yes.
And a lot of people are sort of flapping and, you know, posting about all this stuff, but essentially it comes down to something that if you listen to Russell Brand's latest show where he talks to a lady called Shiva something or other from India.
Yes.
And how she campaigned and battled against the big agro businesses to help farmers.
Yeah.
And it is a case of saying that the farmers are, and they're aware of it, and they admit it, they use destructive practices, and they need to get to organic practices with organic manure and so on. They just need time and solutions. At the moment, the only way for them to stay profitable is to keep doing the destructive chemical fertilizer. But looking into it, there's loads of potential solutions that they could do, which would actually improve the organic farming, make things better for them. But all of their offers of solutions are being refused by the, by the powers that be in the agrochemical industry. But if you watch Russell Brand's show, talking to the lady, she provides all these solutions about how, with the right attitude and help from the people organizing and assisting, we could rapidly move to a system that is better for nature and better for food and all of us.
Yeah,
so worth. I recommend having a listen about that.
Yeah, well said. And I know the lady you're speaking of. I can't remember her name right now, but I'm sure somebody will come up with the name. She's been talking about these issues for 20 years or more now, hasn't she? And it's so good to see for her to be getting some bigger, more more mainstream and widespread publicity here. So a nice one there. And
Absolutely.
Russell Brand, what's he up to these days?
Russell, he's guiding his.
He's taking on the WF single-handed, isn't he?
He's taken on the world. He's got his 5 million army of spiritual light warriors who are awake and growing in their numbers and learning and educating themselves. And they're about to start getting ready to say we should probably do something. So it's exciting time.
Yes.
And especially having her on board. They're learning science. They're learning sort of education, farming, and so on. So it's a good combination to see the two of them together.
Yeah, there you go.
Vandana Shiva. I call her Shiva. What's her name? But yeah, Vandana Shiva.
Yeah, nearly there, Will, with that.
Yeah.
I don't think Shiva, what's her name's going to Google search the right location for that. Vandana Shiva, of course.
Yeah. And I think what I'm trying to get at is if it's important people, I've always said this, it's important people find good sources of information and take stock in what's being said rather than just, not reading stuff, having an opinion, and really not getting to the point.
Yes.
For example, most people think that the attempt to block chemical nitrogen fertilizers is about they want to stop nitrogen from being a greenhouse gas, and it's not about that. It's about all the extra nitrogen running into the rivers and the oceans and killing off soils and so on.
Well,
So
this is how I opened the show this morning, Will. I was saying, you know, the culture wars, it's very interesting, isn't it? I was accused of being a magnet in the culture wars yesterday. And I can understand why people would think that. And I do put my hand up to that in some of the ways that I approach social media. But it occurred to me that we're living in a time where, you know, this culture war thing is about people having very strongly held opinions and being emotional about things. And then as information comes in, the first thing that happens is an emotional reaction to it. And that's the journey we sometimes go off on. And what you're talking about is maybe holding that emotional reaction and scratching the surface a bit and having a look. I mean, everyone's welcome to their emotional reaction, but there might be more to it than that.
Absolutely. I read yesterday, 69% of people, when someone sends them a link, they read the head title and then have their opinion. They don't actually go read it.
Yes, guilty as charged.
And that's something that needs to change. You know, if you suddenly get a bit emotional and want to have an opinion, you got to stop and go, do I actually know about this? And take the time to have a quick look.
And I would add to that as well, check where your emotional reaction's coming from as well. Because I think a lot of this is, for me, and you've heard me say this before, I think a lot of this is unhealed stuff. So it's kind of there waiting to be stimulated and triggered. And it only takes one headline or an off comment for someone else to say to get that stuff going. So yeah, I think absolutely right. You know, take a cold look, a logical look at things, but also maybe have a look at why you're constantly triggered by certain things or certain people.
Well, why did they call you a culture war magnet?
Oh, because for sharing memes, I think, and then I mean, I don't take it as a criticism. I understand it, having taken a cold and logical look at it. You know, I do have a cheeky way of going about business on social media, and it does sometimes. And yesterday, I think there are certain days where I will put something on social media, and there will be an all-out difficulty, which then I have to take a more considered view of and then apologize to people or challenge people. And it was just one of those days yesterday, I think. But I'm not complaining about it. I had a look at it. We can't say what we're saying and then not be introspective or analytical about these things, right?
Sure. The way you have always been, it seems to be you're willing to bring people together from different angles. And I thought perhaps you'd leave these tidbits for people to get debating about. Yes. But you welcome both sides and you kind of step back and let encourage the discussion rather than like me. I can put up with so much sort of uneducated stuff and then I lose my temper. Whereas you seem to be happy to let it roll, which is important, you know? Yeah. I think that's about it.
Okay. Well,
and of course, the other good news is because of the 40-degree record-breaking heat that happened, it's kind of established now, yes, temperature is going to go up. Going up, and we going to have to do something about that. And it's probably a good idea that the weathermen tell us about that. You know, Charlie the cat and Charlie and his cat used to warn us about getting kidnapped, using matches, getting run over, that sort of stuff. Now the weatherman's telling us like, watch out for the heat. But a lot of people who've argued the heat isn't going up have now switched to saying it's the CERN generator. They've opened it up into the 11th dimension, and demons are going to come out and destroy the world, but it doesn't look like that's happening, so we can breathe easy for now.
Excellent news. Thank you for reporting that to us, Will.
There's no statistical evidence of demons yet, so we're good.
No, but just go on social media and you'll see some, I don't know if you could call it evidence, but a sense of it, I think. The demons within that we're all struggling with and we could all possibly help each other with. Of course, that's what I'm talking about. Yes, all and right. One more thing before you go, and this is lovely what Simon sent in here. If anything about today's situation is, I didn't know I was in a forest because Will is there in the forests of central Portugal. I didn't know I was in a forest because I was so busy looking at my shoes and I didn't see that there are trees all around. That's a lovely insight, a lovely thing to say, Simon. Thank you for that. Look up, folks. Look around. That could well be our saving grace, couldn't it? That is grace, I would say.
Wait,
And
you,
go on.
you couldn't see the forest for the trees?
Well, no, it's worse than that. I couldn't see the forest because I was looking at my shoes. This is where we've got to, I think. Pete was asking when we spoke the other day if you had monkeypox. Some people might be concerned, but you cleared that up, didn't you? It's not monkeypox, is it? It is a mosquito attack, right? In your tent.
Mosquito. Yeah. So if I'm in the tent, it's got to be open for the dogs to go in and out, so the mosquitoes get in. So my strategy is have the blanket here, and the only exposure is around here, and then the plan is to go flap when they land. Yes. But if I fall asleep, they just come along, and when I wake up, I've scratched my face here and stuff. So so that's it. I just keep. It's fine though. It's absolutely fine.
Excellent. Right. Good to know. And we're happy to know that you're fine and well and enjoying life in the countryside.
Doing well. I just want to buy an electric bike now because I've got no transport, and I've got to rely on neighbors, and that's a bit awkward. But if I had an electric bike, I could cycle there in a couple of hours quite happily.
Couple of hours? That's how deep you are into the interior? It's
far, yeah, but a charge would get me all the way there quite happily without breaking a sweat. And then I could have it charging in the cafe while I do my shopping, relax, and then cycle back again uphill without
Where do you charge your electric bicycle in the forest, Will? Just a technicality.
Oh, I just plug into my solar panel.
Oh, okay. Simple as that. Very good. Yeah. Okay, it's the future, folks.
Yeah. Oh, that was one more thing that you used to get the solar panel. You put it into a 12-volt battery, which used to be like lead acid battery, and now they've got lithium. What do you call it? LFP batteries, which are the lithium batteries that don't explode and could be part of the future if we actually manage to get them on the market for any decent price. But then you have to convert it from 12 volts to 240 volts to charge things like a bike or something. Yes. But they're now getting inverted. They used to be inefficient, so you'd only get 75% conversion efficiency. But they're now making these things called micro inverters, which are up to 97 to 99% efficient. So it's another positive development in technology for going off grid.
Amazing. And we did talk the other night, didn't we, about off-grid boot camps, where it'll be like the man cave meets off-grid technology, and what some amazing weekends we can have off-grid boot camps paired up with the man cave. Well, great to talk to you this morning.
So can I one more little story? It was what I wanted to tell you the other night. It's about Germany. They're shutting off gas to Russia, and everyone's worried about lack of gas.
Yes.
The other thing is they've decided that all the massive solar panels in Germany aren't good because in the morning, when the sun's not quite up yet or in the wrong direction, everyone turns on their kettles and coffee and stuff. So they have to turn on gas plants to compensate. During the day, there's plenty of sunshine on the solar panels, but in the evening, the sun's turned to the side, sun goes down, and they have to turn on gas plants again. But now they're struggling with gas. But the solution is, and it was proved by some university students just the other day, all you have to do is put the solar panels, all these massive, you just take them off their stationary positions and put them on heliostats so they turn. So in the morning, you get all you need, and in the evening, you get all you need. So it's just one simple solution. Lots of employed people take what you've already got and just make them move, and that would solve like 20% of their gas problem. But ideas like this never get from me to world-leading consultants, you know. But there you go. I've been low for lack of trying.
Well, I know that, and I would suggest as well that they maybe don't have the same vested interests, or they have different agendas, which might be part of the problem.
Take that one step further. If they don't have the interest, what does it take to force that issue?
Yes. Yeah.
It takes the people standing together with the right information, pointing out the fallacies in their arguments and providing better solutions.
Yes.
And that's exactly what that Shiva lady said too. We can fix this farming thing. They have a different agenda. They want to grab the land, but all we have to do is force a better solution that they can't argue with, and we win. But that's what it takes. People with the right information, focused and engaged.
Well, the thing about you and your ideas, Will, is it's got you banned off Facebook and YouTube. So where can people find you? Is it BitChute? Forest
on BitChute.
Yeah.
But you've got to go there with a thick skin, because when I lose my temper, I don't hold back.
No, I've noticed. Yeah. Okay.
But apart from I'm not quite sure. I was going to try and start doing my YouTube and be really careful about what I say and focus on the sort of off-greedy type stuff. So I might be giving that a go. And if I do, I'll send you a link.
I would like to work with you on that. I mean, yes, I'm going to be getting more deeply into that in the coming months. Is
Lovely.
putting it in an urban setting as well. I think that's important because that's where a lot of people live, isn't it? They don't all have to head to the woods like you've done there.
Yeah. Well, no, exactly. There are other
Yeah.
ways.
Okay,
I'd love
mate.
that to have an audience where someone like you, I could explain these things. So instead of 10 million people shouting about cows or don't fart and they're happy, having
Yes.
them understand that the farming in Holland isn't good, but could be if you talk about the right thing, not something not based in reality. And
Yes.
that's all it takes.
Indeed. A dad joke for you. There are negatives about current battery technology and positives. Very good. And a little bit of help for you with the mosquitoes. Try citronella, which you've probably tried in the past, or a load of herbs. And maybe hang some basil from your forehead of an evening. Mosquitoes are devious, says James, slug on a rug, always trying to get us to slap ourselves unconscious so they can eat in peace. They are clever. They're tiny but clever. Quite amazing. And they also show, don't they, if you are going to have a vaccination, how is it that human beings haven't yet created a system that can deliver a vaccine in the way that a mosquito can deliver a bite to you, which without you even knowing? Isn't that incredible?
I don't know what to say about that. I think they have, and I think like it's not supposed to hurt, is it? But don't forget, mosquitoes have been practicing for about 270 million years, and that's why they're
Yeah,
so
well,
clever.
practice makes perfect. We're a bit slower than that, aren't we, on the uptake? Well,
Takes
great
us
to have
time.
a beautiful day and a lovely weekend. I guess you don't even know what day it is sometimes in the forest. There, it's timeless and eternal, isn't it?
Does it matter? What? Monday?
No, it's Friday. Just in case you need to.
Friday? Oh,
Yeah. Okay, mate. All the
okay.
best.
Take care. Ciao.
It was really nice to talk to Will, if only just to tell him what day it was. Superb stuff there. Thank you, Will, for that positivity report. And I love the microphone, the Flintstones sheaf of grass microphone. We'll do that again. And we'll talk to Will, I'm sure, about off-grid tech. Sounds great. Matty's here. Hola, bon dia, criaturas de Pomba. I can't believe it's 12 minutes to 10. And there are still loads of things I was hoping to cover. We've got some lovely comments, of course we have. Antonio, thank you for that clarification about pica-pau, which is a lovely thing to be able to say. Pica-pau means woodpecker, but of course it does, but also the name given to a Portuguese appetizer snack made of meat. And the point I was trying to make is that we were having a bit of a smorgasbord show here this morning, Antonio, of lots of little bits and pieces, some of it meat, some of it pickle, and some of it meat gravy. Not everyone's cup of tea, to completely mix up the metaphor. It's not always the chemical itself, but how and where it is used. What was that about, I wonder? Thank you for that. Guess the question. There's the answer. No chance with a mini Carl. He learned to drink with his Uncle Gaz. It's like watching a basking shark go to work. All right, I better buy him a Kaneka then later on today. Sarah Smith is Nom de Bloom, of course, your fellow astrologer, fellow spiritual seeker, trying to get to sleep in southern US. That's where you are. Of course you are, Sarah. Good to hear from you this morning. And when he's swimming, Deagle has MP3 headphones to listen to from Springsteen, Beatles, Scar, Paul Heaton, put on the mix and then swim. Okay, so listening to music there. Talking of which, Capricorn Chris, Hola bon dia todos, Faja do dia, total contrast. Oh, what a tune. Takes a little time. I like the start of that track. Takes a little time to get it right. There's the story of human evolution, right? Brit Funk, Jazz Funk and Funk. Hit the like button, please, says Chris. I'm very thirsty after a swim. I bring a 1 liter bottle of water with me. There's a kind of weird sort of irony, paradox about being in the water and then being thirsty afterwards. Leaving soon. Ciao, ciao. Enjoy your weekend. Bon fin de semana to you. Always clear here, no mist. So there you go. Thank you for clarifying that. Literally, there, Victoria. Always clear on the Algarve. What? Never any mist? Come on, that can't be right. No idea about the 1 and 5 thing. Maybe a promotion. Another dad joke from Drew. Did you hear of the band 1023 megabytes? No, they haven't got a gig yet. Don't you just hate it when people answer their own questions? I do. Thank you, Drew. A single comment delivered with great aplomb. Very efficient use of a single comment to deliver such devastating amounts of humor. So Lion H's Portuguese phrases translates as, how do you call the elevator? Oh, a dad joke in Portuguese. Fantastic. Thank you. Or Pierre Secos, how do you call the elevator in Japan? The same way as in Portugal. Press the button and there it comes. Okay, so is that a good example of a Portuguese dry joke? So Lion H and Antonio F there. Okay, brilliant. By what's hold on? There's a lot. There's another. It's not a dad joke. It's just a joke. A small convent in Australia, known as the Sisters of Mercy, has become quite well known for a unique tea they make. This is elaborate. This is one of those jokes you can hear sort of doing up its shoelaces and walking down the street towards the punchline. So, a small convent in Australia. We haven't even covered Nun's Breast yet, have we? And God knows that needs to happen. A small convent in Australia, known as the Sisters of Mercy, has become quite well known for a unique tea they make. By crushing eucalyptus leaves and then steeping them directly in the cup. Once steeped, they put the used tea leaves out for the koalas who love to eat them. So, to make it correctly, it's important to remember that the koala tea of mercy is not strained. Oh my word. But that joke was very good. The quality of mercy is not strained. Very good. James, did you have that one up your sleeve and ready for such an occasion? So, yeah, piadas secas, dry jokes in Portuguese. And yes, this talk of nun's breasts and monk's trunks, I think we need to go back to, don't we? And I think we've got to most of the comments this morning. I don't know. We'll have to have a look, another look before we leave, though, to make sure everything has been covered, including the nun's breast this morning. So this was from our conversation last night. You know, when you're in a situation where you've done the hola, bon dia, tudo bem, muito bem, obrigado, contigo, that sort of thing. And then what do you say? One thing you can say, if you're British especially, you can talk about the weather, of course. So you could say, esta calor, or esta frío. You know, it's hot, it's cold. And then you're getting deeper into the conversation. Or at that point, you might feel like, okay, we've said hello, we've done the weather, we can go. Now, this, of course, takes on a new level of complexity and possibility when you're in a cafe or a restaurant of some kind. And we covered the pudser and queria and so on. And, you know, asking for things in the cafe, which was great fun with Philomena last night. And we shared some photographs. And this is where a meal out that, and incidentally, Philomena does amazing tours, trips4brits@gmail.com. And one such trip, she went with Jerry and Lucy, of course, Jerry of Expats Portugal, and Lucy, one of our Ask Our Expats team. And they had this most amazing meal at Oborgo in Lausanne. So I'm going to show you that now. This is a very special restaurant. Is there any pick-up-out action going on there? But this is how they serve the food. It's a very exclusive restaurant in Lausanne. And it's called Oborgo. And inside there are pictures of prime ministers and celebrities who go along to this amazing restaurant. If you're with Philomena, you might not need a booking. Everyone else does. Need a booking going there, but there's some very traditional and excellent Portuguese food. And she said not so much the chips and rice in this establishment, so that gives you an idea of what we're talking about here, a bit above and beyond the norm of everyday Portuguese cafe cuisine. Looking quite meaty. It's mountain food, she said. So you're going to get your certainly chicken up there, javali, goat, rabbit, that sort of thing. So quite meaty. For those who like it meaty. Borgon is Borgo is the restaurant. And this, my friends, is where you'll see a nun's breast as well, which I think is top left there. Also known as the novice's breast here in Portugal. I'll just ask for it by name. And I'd be very careful about going into a restaurant and asking for nun's breast, but that is what it's called. And it comes from the great tradition, of course, of how the nuns and monks started. You know, we have the nuns and monks, I think, to thank for the pastel de nata. They used to starch their clothes with the egg whites, and then there were egg yolks left over. And of course, they formed the basis of delicious desserts, pastries, and all the wonderful things you find in the padarias and pastelerias of Portugal. And I'm still not quite sure if what the monks thing is, literally, if it's the doces phalicos or some other thing. I've gone with monk's trunk, but there you'll see a nun's breast there, top left-hand corner. Have you tried it? Did you like it? Thank you very much, Jerry, for those pics, and for Philomena for taking Jerry and Lucy there. And having such a good time. One for your list of all those, that massively growing list of Portuguese experiences. Oborgo, a restaurant in Lausanne. Okay. And we wish you the best of luck in trying to spell both of those. Somebody more helpful might put that in the chat for me this morning. So your last few comments this morning, have I covered everything that was on my list? Roundabouts. We didn't. Let's do roundabouts quickly. And Nunu's lovely, not idea, but news announcement, really. about the 112. Let's do that first. Let's go and see what's happening to the 112 number. Useful information here on this Pica smorgasbord potpourri of a morning of information here on the Good Morning Portugal show from expatsportugal.com. And yes, this story, thank you, Nuno, for this. And hopefully it's going to be translated for me, because he sent it to me in the original espresso, a link. Oh, yeah, okay. So in 2023, 112 will detect the exact place of origin of calls, new 112 system and maintenance. Oh, stop it. Adverts coming up on the screen. For now, when someone calls 112 via a cell phone, the system detects the location of the nearest telecom antenna, which may be miles away. However, as of 2023, according to Jornal de Noticias, the exchanges operated by PSP agents will receive the exact geographical location of the area from which the call was made. How good is that? The public tender for the maintenance and modernization of the 112 service operational centers should be published this Thursday. I think that was probably yesterday. Until now, it was only possible to geo-reference exactly who called in calls from a landline. The new 1.5. It's not letting me scroll down any further, but you get the gist. The new 112 and system maintenance until the end of 2027 will cost 11.5 million euros, but the new feature will give an exact location. Now, you'd have thought to yourself, I mean, surely they could have done this a long time ago, but I guess these big systems need time to implement. But isn't that good news from 2023? We will be able to see exactly where somebody is when they make that emergency call. For all sorts of reasons, that's a great idea. Let's move on then to driving around roundabouts, and I'll also update you on what's going on with the civilian. No, it's not civilian protection, is it? But the ProCiv site, anyway, prociv.pt, to let you know how many incidents are going on. Be very careful. Remain alert. Let's not get complacent here. It's going to be a hot weekend in parts of Portugal. So do please stay alert, stay prepared, and stay safe, of course. But just very quickly, roundabouts then. Let me bring this onto the screen for you as well so you can see this before we go this morning and off into our respective weekends. We'll see you again on Monday. Christina will be back, as will James, the slug on a rug, with thoughts from the Redwoods. But for now, roundabouts here in Portugal. Let me share this with you. It's very text dense, but you might want to squint at the screen and see this. Roundabout law is different in Portugal, says portugaldrivinglaws.com. Could be a useful one to bookmark. Special rules to enter, exit a roundabout when you must give way, and there's often a 30-kilometer-hour speed limit. I've not seen many people observing that in Portugal. Anyway, to exit a roundabout, a rotunda in Portugal, you move into the right-hand lane to take the exit, but only after passing the preceding exits. You stay on an inside lane until you approach the exit you want to take, then only move on to the outside lane to actually take the exit. If you're on the outside lane and you reach an exit, you must take the exit. Put another way, in Portugal, the inside lane has priority, not the outside lane. If you are in the outside lane and pass an exit, then another vehicle inside you can cut across you to take the exit. This is the most common cause of accidents on roundabouts in Portugal. There is an exception to this rule, however. Slow-moving traffic, horse-drawn carts, bicycles, electric bicycles, heavy goods vehicles may drive in the outside lane and pass an exit, but must still give way to other vehicles trying to take the exit. This can be a difficult situation. Drive carefully. Fines of between 60 euros and 300 euros for violating traffic laws on roundabouts. I'm so glad I covered that. Was that clear? Thank you. All right, let's have a look at your last few comments. I did say I would cover roundabouts. Try telling the locals how to use them. All right, Lord Gilchrist, you've only been here a few days. You're already moaning about the weather and the roundabouts. Roundabouts in Belfast, we call them up and overs. Okay, so how you do it in Belfast. And instead of around. Yes, people like to drive right through them instead of around. Yes, that was a little correction we made to for Nunu's share yesterday, wasn't it? Driving through roundabouts. No. Please don't do that, everybody. Drive round the roundabout. Have two pairs of eyes looking at me like, come on, dude, we want to go out, says Matty, so have to leave shortly to walk the dogs. We're all going to go now. Thank you so much for being with us this morning. Your place is fine, Matty. Okay, it's good to know. Anything else I might have missed? Yes, Porky Feet, this is Andy in the Barrada, off to the local outdoor market for a barbecue lunch today. How many others do? A great way to mix with the locals. So there's a nice tip for acclimatizing yourself, for getting into the local culture. Go to the outdoor market and have lunch at the outdoor market. People are in a nice mood, aren't they, often at the market as well, convivial and got their eyes open for a bargain, doing their shopping. Fantastic. Take that tip from Andy. Get to your local market. Please use the local market, the local shops, and hang out with the locals while you're there. Great idea. And Lithium iron phosphate. Okay, battery technology. We've talked about a lot of things this morning. Thank you for being here to do so. And final comments then coming in. I just need to make sure I've done all your pictures and videos this morning. My dog Smells is in. I'm late to the show. You are. You've missed so much this morning, my dog. So I couldn't possibly summarize it very well. I'll do my best, though, on the show notes, on the show blog at goodmorningportugal.com. Watching from the beach, says Andrew Gilchrist. We know we played the video earlier on, Lord Gilchrist. And a final bon fin semana then. So let me extend that from T-Duck. Thank you, T-Duck, for all your wonderful service this week with your Portuguese sayings, your dad jokes, and your deep thoughts of the day. Thanks, mate. Have a great weekend. Look forward to seeing you soon. And everybody else on Monday, when, as I said, it'll be Migration Monday. Christina will be back again while Jura is on holiday. And James doesn't take a break. He'll be with us with thoughts from the Redwoods. Night, everyone. I'm off to bed now, 3 o'clock in the morning. Look at you. And hi from Magnus. I shouldn't do that because Darren is trying to go to bed. Today's short summary, watch the replay. Thank you very much for that. Bon fin de semana, everybody. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you again next week. Ciao for now, friends.
It's exhausting being here. So tiring.